Hey, Steve Gamache here with a Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. This time we're looking at the Masashi Kobo SLD Gyuto 270mm knife. This is their longest Gyuto. And they all have something in common, all three of them. They've got mirror polished finishes to them, and they've got a tall profile and also an edge profile that's somewhat unique. And they're fairly blade heavy because they're big blades. So let's take a look. The core steel is SLD semi-stainless high-speed tool steel. The heat treat's about 61 Rockwell. The construction is a softer stainless cladding over the top of that SLD steel. And I'll try to keep the reflections down, but it's pretty tough because you're mirror polished. But there you can see the core steel cladding line at the very edge there. The weight on the knife is fairly heavy, and it's all pretty much blade forward. It's 8.4 ounces, 239 grams. Blade length is 275 on this, so it's a generous length, almost 11 inches. The overall length about 16.5. The spine thickness coming out of the handle above the chin here is about 3.7. But what's nice about all three of these Gyuto knives is they just have a beautiful continuous distal taper all the way down into a really thin tip. So just really, it's nice to see this in person. It's really well done. These are really tall knives, and this is no exception. So this is 58.6 millimeter. They're all quite tall. The handles are just basic dyed they call it chestnut, but it's a dyed wood. It does have a nice grippy grain to it, and it's got a basic plastic ferrule, nothing fancy, but very serviceable. The handle circumference is about 3 1/4 inches right here, about 82 millimeters, so a little bit larger to fit the bigger knife and the taller knife. As you might suspect, you've got loads of clearance here on the cutting board, tons of that. Let's look at the balance point while we're down here. These are pretty blade forward balance point because they're tall blades. They're not super skinny lasers, although they're very thin at the tip. So you're way up there, kind of where the kanji starts, and my pinch grip's back here. So, you know, this has some heft to it in the blade because of that balance characteristic. Let's take a close-up look. You can see there is some hand chisel kanji, and then there's an embossed symbol as well. And there's your cutting steel, core steel on the edge. Of course, beautifully done spine treatment, as well as really awesome curves, relief on the back of the blade. The choil into the neck are emulto towards the handle. And these are just as nicely done as almost any other knife I've seen. They're just beautifully done in that respect. Taking a lot of time to do that. Let's look at the profile. Out of the box edge, I give these about a 5 out of 10, all three of them. I think I forgot that maybe on the other videos, but they're pretty thin towards the edge. And the out of the box edge was decent. I'd say you could definitely put a better edge on them. These all have the characteristic of a long, flat spot, very flat spot towards the heel, and an aggressive belly towards the tip. So they're somewhat unique in their profile. Let's take a look. Excuse me. So this flows into a big old flat heel, at least that long. And it just stops in there. It's a flat, almost ruler flat heel. And then you've got a real aggressive belly towards the tip few inches, which means you can get way up here in terms of not hitting anything on the tip. So you've got a real generous, aggressive belly for rocking that part of the blade, and for other tasks you're going to do, it's kind of pointed, but then you've got a big old flat spot towards the heel. So this knife will accommodate a few different techniques. So just a real nice package. Mirror polish, great fit and finish, real nice geometry. It's a tall blade if that's your thing. Nice kind of all stainless over semi-stainless, so low reactivity. Just real nice blades. And so this is the Masashi Kobo SLD Gyuto 270mm.